Hi guys, my name is Michelle and I'm doing my presentation on the book Mrs. Piggle by Betty McDonald. This was one of my favorites when I was a little girl. I just think it's a really fun story and it's something that kind of any child would enjoy. It's good for probably children ages 7 to 9, maybe 10. And I like it a lot because it's kind of a good transition between picture books and chapter books. It's a little bit more complex, but the chapters are still broken up into different stories, and so it makes it a little easier for children to follow and to understand. And so the book starts out by telling us a little bit about Mrs. Piggle and who she is. Mrs. Piggle is a woman who lives all by herself with a cat and a dog in a house that's been built upside down. And so the roof is on the ground and the floor is the ceiling. And so it's kind of fun because you have the kids come over and they want to play at her house because the floor is all slanted, so you can slide down the floor and there's a chandelier sticking up out of it, and so it's kind of fun. And Mrs. Piggle at the very beginning, she's actually really lonely because she doesn't really have any friends or know anybody, and she's never been very good with adults. She says that adults make her nervous and she prefers children. But this little girl is walking by her house in the rain and she's crying, and Mrs. Piggle asks what's wrong, and this girl, whose name is Mary Lou, tells her that she's running away, and the reason that she's running away is because she feels like her parents don't love her because they always make her do dishes, and obviously if parents really loved her they wouldn't make her do dishes. And so I'm just going to read a little bit of this part just because I like it. So they're talking, and let's see. So Mary Lou says she is, talking about her mom, but no real mother would make you wash dishes. Wash dishes, wash dishes. Now that's a funny thing, said Mrs. Piggle. I mean you're hating to wash dishes so much, because you see I like to wash dishes. In fact, I enjoy washing dishes so much that a cause of great sorrow to me is the fact that the only dishes I must wash are for Wag, Lightfoot, and me. 3 or 4 dishes a meal, that's all. When I wash dishes, Mary Lou, I pretend that I am a beautiful princess with long, golden, curly hair, an apple-blossom skin, and forget-me-not blue eyes. I have been captured by a wicked witch, and my only chance to get free is to wash every single dish and have the whole kitchen sparkly clean before the clock strikes. For when the clock strikes, the witch will come down and inspect, to see if there is a crumb anywhere, if there are pots and pans that have been put away wet, if the silverware has been thrown in the door, or if the sink has not been scrubbed out. The witch will have me in her power for another year. And so kind of this shows what Mrs. Piggle does with the kids, is she kind of just turns the chores that they have to do into a game. And she talks about how much she enjoys doing these chores, and it actually makes the children want to do the chores themselves. And so this kind of begins the whole story, where the parents get to know a little bit about Mrs. Piggle, and they hear how good she is with kids. And so when they start to have trouble with one of their children for any reason, they call upon Mrs. Piggle and ask for her advice. And the advice that she gives them, she calls them cures. They're different cures for the problems that the kids are having. They're a little bit more peculiar. And so that's what kind of makes the story fun, is she finds different odd ways to help them out. But what I really like about them is that kind of what she's doing is making the children want to obey and to do what they're supposed to do, rather than forcing them to do what they're supposed to do. She teaches them through these little lessons to have the desire to actually do what they're asked. And so I really like it for that reason, and I think it's just a really fun, quirky book. And so I hope that you will read it and that you'll enjoy it.